Well, ever since the trailer for Venom: The Last Dance dropped, all many people can talk about is Knull. The god of the symbiotes is coming, and we're all wondering if he is going to be a one-and-done villain or play a bigger role, and now the director of the film has given us a huge clue, and it sounds like the character is here to stay. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about Venom: The Last Dance, the introduction of Knull, the god of the symbiotes, and will he show up in Spider-Man 4, because that definitely sounds like a big possibility. Now, I have to say, general interest in the upcoming Venom sequel has definitely increased since we found out that Knull will be part of the film. Now, the movie from day one has been set up as an epic conclusion to a trilogy, and many fans, myself included, kinda wonder why the character wasn't teased in previous iterations, because he's definitely not the kind of villain that just shows up and disappears. Now, recently, the director of the third film, Kelly Marcel, was talking with IGN, and she had a lot to say about the movie, and specifically Knull himself. Now, during that interview, they talked a lot about the trilogy, and after Carnage, the filmmaker says they wanted to, and I quote, step up our game with the threat in this movie, so we brought out the big guns to bring a much bigger challenge, not only to Eddie and Venom, but to our world, and went on to tease that this is just the beginning. Now, during that interview, she went on to say, and I quote, trust me, we know full well how important Knull is to the fans, so just as we laid a foundation for Venom, we hope we are doing the same for Knull. The King in Black is way too powerful for one and done. This film introduces Knull, but it just touches the beginning of his story. Marvel's greatest villains are developed over time. Here, Knull is lurking behind the danger that tests the absolute limits of Eddie and Venom's partnership, but it's their relationship that remains at the heart of the story. Now, it sounds to me like Knull as a character is not going away, and it's very unclear right now where he lands next. Now, when she was asked about the return of Tom Hardy, she made it really clear there were many other symbiote stories, and that beyond the trilogy, there are more stories to explore. God is coming. Now, this leads us right to the big rumor that we've been hearing for weeks, and that is, will he be part of Spider-Man 4? Like I said, that is in the rumor stage, but Marvel and Sony recently renewed their contract, and it seems like the ties between the two studios are definitely getting closer. We are also hearing that future Sony movies post-Secret Wars would actually be integrated into the MCU, and honestly, if Kraven the Hunter is also a huge flop, well, even if Venom 3 does well, probably not going to be enough to keep Sony in the game. Now, personally, the Knull storyline is, well, epic, and absolutely something I want to see come to life. All of these details seem to fit that rumor that Spider-Man 4 could indeed feature Tom Hardy returning as Venom, despite what everybody's saying, and see Spider-Man and him, well, initially have conflict, but then face off against the god of the symbiotes in the multiverse tale. We also know Spider-Man 4 is coming after Doomsday, suggesting it's very easy to make this a multiverse adventure and cross over all of these characters, which could very well include Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and a multitude of other versions of the Spider character. Honestly, the tightening of this relationship I think might be good for fans. It could prevent Sony from kind of releasing these turds that have soiled theaters the last couple of years, and fans want to see Spider-Man and Venom together. They've been asking for it a long time, and when you deliver fan expectations properly, it's often reflected in the box office, so let's hope this works out for all parties involved. Until we know more, we're going to have to wait and see. Now, before you take off, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, ring that bell for all the updates, and make sure you get every notification, because we do daily Marvel and DC content, and we don't want you to miss any news.